Welcome back to Joe's apartment.
This room tour is going to be a little bit different than we normally do our room tours. One of the things I'd like to point out before we even really start is that we don't think you should rent this room. And so stay tuned to find out why we say that. We started at the doorway. You can see it's a pretty standard design. You need to know that this is managed currently by Westgate. Now Westgate is claiming they just took over the property, but everybody that I've talked to says that they've said that for a long time. So take that for what it is. Once you enter the apartment, you're going to come to this like kitchenette area. You see, we'll go to the other side of this wall. In a lot of the apartments that we've seen, they actually take out this kitchen counter and make it sort of like an L instead of this. But this is the older style. You can tell this was built in the 1980s, and this has not been remodeled since the 1980s, this one that we're in. So it's definitely garbage. And it's actually gotten worse since the 1980s. So if you actually rented this in the 1980s, it would have been better than it is today. So we go into the kitchen. You got a fridge to the right. You got a dishwasher to the left, which is apparently pretty rare in Hawaii. Legit tip on that one again. Coffee maker we have not used. Tiny microwave on the counter, so extremely cheap. There is the stove on this side. You'll see it's just a really tiny space. And again, in a lot of the remodels, especially if they've done it since the 1980s, they will knock this out and make this actually more wide open, which I think would be better because you'll have a little bit more room. There is one crappy closet over here that's tiny, and ours is just filled with junk, like filled with all of this different junk. It's ridiculous, y'all. There's a couch. This couch actually folds out. You get this really crappy table that they got at like a Target or something. We actually had this back in the early 2000s. I bought one in Target, and that's where the table came from. You get this real weird dresser out here. I don't know why there's a dresser out in the living space like this. It doesn't really make sense. There's a TV. The TV is supposed to have cable satellite. It does not have either. You'll see it has the HDMI cord, and it's just hooked into two different spots of the TV. That's it. They said that they were going to fix that. They have not come back. We've been here almost 2 weeks now, and they have no intention of fixing it. There's the really cheap light fixtures over here. This one actually is held against the wall by the string because we have to have all the windows open here because there's no air conditioning, and that results in the things flying and falling down. So I've looped that in. Here's something interesting that you'll notice. In our unit, there's the plug for the air conditioning. So this used to have air conditioning in this main area. You'll see it in some of the pictures online. There's supposed to be an air conditioning unit here to cool this room. There's the plug, but this unit does not have it. They claim it never had it, etc., etc., but when you look on the pictures online, it says it does. One of the interesting parts about that is I've actually contacted Westgate. I wrote them an email. I actually wrote the subleaser, which I also wrote through here. The subleaser admits that when you write them an email that there is only one air conditioning unit, and that is in the bedroom, and I'll show you that when we get there. Westgate claimed in the first email that there was only one in the bedroom, followed up with, hey, your pictures show that there's air conditioning in every room, and your website says there's air conditioning in every room. Your website says there's a thermostat. None of those things are true, by the way, for this unit at least. They responded with, oh no, it has central air. They responded to me with that this place has central air. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So I responded, hey, the first person said this, you said this. And then they said they called the complex, the Westgate people, and they said that there's air conditioning in both rooms, supposedly. So a legit tip here, definitely if you're staying in Hawaii and beyond this place, is that they lie. They lie consistently about air conditioning because once you get here, you're kind of stuck on an island. There's not much you can do about it. Just know ahead of time they may be dishonest when they're talking about where the air conditioning are in this unit. There's a really tiny one in the bedroom. I'll show you that when we get there. But there's not much here, and it is a really disappointing stay. Again, a legit tip that we found out staying here, talking with people, etc., is that sometimes they're going to be dishonest about the air conditioning. Sometimes they'll be dishonest about other things. And we'll talk about that too as we go through. A little bit disappointing, but know that ahead of time if you're coming to Hawaii. Now that we've shown you sort of the living space, which is right here, we'll go into this tiny bathroom. This is one of the smallest toilet areas I've seen ever. Turn on some crappy lights. There's the sink area. So that's our sink, hey, that we get ready and do our prep stuff. Here is the toilet area. There is a fake bidet in the bathroom. There is the cord for it, right? There it is on the toilet. It doesn't work. And the underside of the toilet seat, I'm not going to show it to you, is brown because they haven't been cleaning it. It's absolutely disgusting. There's a smell every time we flush because it's not seated to the ground correctly. It's also leaking water during our stay. They came and quote unquote fixed it, and then they didn't bother to actually clean up the area, so there's water on the floor until we cleaned it up. It's been a horrible, horrible stay. Here's the shower. You'll see we got a towel laying to dry because that's the only place to put the towels once you use them. But there's the tiny, tiny shower and the toilet. I cannot fit in here and close the door. My knees actually hit the door, and I'm 6 foot tall. So just know if you're a taller person, you're gonna have a lot of problems sitting in this area, and it's really not a good experience. Here's this little shelf that they put. They didn't even screw the screws in all the way. I mean, it's pretty pitiful that they didn't even screw the screws in. That's the quality of work in this place. There's another tiny little closet with a bunch of junk in it over here. And now we're gonna go into this bedroom. Here is the bedroom. Wow. It's actually fairly spacious on the length side of it. But it's really uncomfortable because it can't actually get cold, and I'll show you why in a second. You have a space over here that's got a dresser. It's a pretty big dresser, and a little nightstand that's pretty tall. We don't put anything in the dresser or the nightstand just because there's so many cockroaches and stuff here that we want to be able to see it. You'll see Macy's clothes is over on this bench over here. It's really dark in this room because, again, it has to be. Otherwise, it's not going to be cool at all. Same thing with the TV. It was supposed to have cable and satellite. It does not have anything. It's just a generic screen. We did put our Roku in so we could watch it. Here's the other dresser. For some odd reason, we have another dresser, another side table, and the air conditioning unit. This is a 200 square foot air conditioning, really extremely cheap on the low end side. It will barely keep the room cold. You'll see it's set to 64. The lowest the room gets is about 72. If it's humid outside, the lowest the room will get is 78. So the air conditioning does not work at all really in this unit. It's an absolute disappointment, and it's clearly not big enough to air condition the entire unit, but they claim on the website that your whole unit is supposed to be AC'd. Check out this amazing lamp I have over here. What a side table lamp, y'all. Look at that thing. That is top quality. There are no outlets or anything. It's really sparse in here, so you have to bring your own extension cords and other things. You'll see Nacy has an extension cord on her side. It is a king bed. It's not comfortable. It's extremely old. They actually have a pillow top thing that they put on top of it underneath the sheets that moves around, and again is really, really old. This comforter is so old it feels almost like paper, sandpapery thin. Not a good experience. They do have some weird artwork here too. This actually fits the motif. This isn't too bad, but you turn here and this is what I'm talking about weird. This is the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, France. I'm not sure why the Arc de Triomphe picture is here. Sorry for the but just kind of. So that's the only cool part of the entire room. This is what the room looks like. There's a fan out here, but for some odd reason there's not a fan in the bedroom. It's really weird. Like, the choices that are made don't make sense. There's this piece of art with a peacock with a hanging light here. Why, you say? I don't know. There's no entry lights. So it's really dark at night. Really cheap lighting. So it's, again, really, really dark and kind of dim in here. And then the air really upsets me. Let me show you the one good part of this room. We got the porch. We've got these two side tables weirdly placed over here for some reason. We didn't actually move those. That's where they've always been. There's your air conditioning unit. It's missing the drip pan, so it just kind of drips on the floor. And there's water everywhere. Coming over here, that's your walkway. And then you've got a table with two chairs, and they have two more folding chairs that are over in the corner. We have not opened the folding chairs. I don't know how good they are. Just, it's nasty. This is the good part about it, though. Look at these views. I mean, you do get a nice view of the area out here. A bunch of skyscrapers. Got the ocean over there. You got a big tanker coming over here. I mean, this is the one positive of this room is it does have amazing views. There is a McDonald's down there. That's the cheapest meal we've had in Hawaii. Just so you know, it's across the street, open 24 hours. That's a benefit too. This is what our view looks like in this room. Again, all of these windows are this kind of window. We have them as open as they can be because otherwise it's really, really hot inside, really uncomfortable. And again, I can live without air conditioning, but it's just frustrating that it claims it has it and it doesn't. It claims it has a ton of other features. And the amount of roaches that we have seen in this place is unbeatable. It's the most we've seen in any place we've ever stayed. You can see the huge gap underneath the door. That's where a lot of the roaches come in. We'll show you in a second where the trash is. It's kind of right outside our door, which is one of the reasons why I think we get so many roaches here. There's just underneath the door. But they have to do that because it doesn't have air and it needs to breeze. So that's the only way it functions. So we've shown you the room. And again, this is just an example. There are some that are remodeled here. Supposedly there are some that have 2 air conditioners. Again, I don't know if I trust them, but that's up to you. And then they say that some only have 1 air conditioning. So you can get a variety of different room models staying here. This is a corner room, if that makes any difference to you. This is what we got. Let's go check out the rest of this building and see how bad it really gets. What are your thoughts on the Royal Kuhio?
So I want to preface this with the fact that we did not choose this. This was chosen for us. So we really had no say going into this stay. From the first time we were there, like literally like when we stepped in, we were like, oh my God, like what is this place? The lobby just has like a lingering odor of sewage. And the lobby, before you get to the doors to the elevator, is the only spot in that entire building that has air conditioning. So keep that in mind. 2, the elevators were definitely on the older side. There were 2 elevators that had like moving cloths on the inside of both of them. And I genuinely felt like at any given time, I could get trapped in those elevators with the fear, based on the sign, that they would probably charge me for it and try to figure out how they could pin it on me as to why their elevators failed. Now, the room in and of itself only had a window unit air conditioning in the bedroom, which was actually a little bit too small for that room. So between 3 and 2 a.m., that room barely got cooler than 75 degrees because the sun would just beat down on it. And then the rest of the condo was definitely more than 90 degrees 80% of the day. The only time it was ever remotely tolerable being out there was between like 3 a.m. and 10 a.m. and sometimes it wouldn't even last till 10 a.m. And that was with all of the windows open and if it was an overcast day. If it wasn't an overcast day and the humidity was high and you didn't have a good seaward wind, that room was absolutely intolerable. And then you add into the fact that we had little friends, cockroaches, that made an appearance by day 2, I think. We didn't really see them day 1 because I think we were so exhausted and tired, but by day 2 we started to see them coming out. We did make a complaint. They did send a pest control guy, but we actually think that made it worse because we actually saw more of them after the pest control guy came. And our room was directly across from the trash chute, and every night when we would walk out to the elevators, we would just see the cockroaches crawling on the walls, coming out of the trash chute, in the doors. It was a little bit horrifying. And if you've ever seen the movie Joe's Apartment, while it wasn't to the extreme of Joe's Apartment, it felt like Joe's Apartment because it didn't matter what was going on. We killed at least 1 bug every time we left the bedroom. So overall, we just didn't care for the room. It felt dirty. We couldn't use majority of the space because there wasn't air conditioning. And down in Waikiki, it is very touristy and very busy. And that's not typically our vibe. I think we might have been able to make it work if the room had been clean and we had had air conditioning. But overall, just the vibe of being down there just wasn't for us. Now, we have moved locations, so if you guys want to see that hotel review, make sure you check down in the show notes, because I will say, while it's not the Four Seasons, it is 100 times better than where we were staying.
Made it down to the laundry facility. It's only open from 7 to 11. Why, you ask? I have no idea. It only takes coins. And there's no coin machine down here to actually make coins. This is fun. I mean, it's a huge laundry facility, but you can't actually use it unless you somehow have coins. And I do not at the moment. I hate this place. There you go. Here's an interesting sign. Just started both machines at their different times. And watch out, they charge different prices and there's different times on different machines. 4 buckets of these. 4 buckets of these on a Sunday. They're doing professional laundry service in the laundry unit while you're trying to wash your clothes. The professional laundry ladies are playing cards anyway. But check out, there's a ton of like black mold and stuff in here. Look at this. Look at that. Just black mold everywhere. This place is disgusting. Like everything here, this is also a lie. The washers are different prices than $2. Some are $2, but some are $2.50. There's a wide variety, so you definitely need to be looking out. Yeah, this place is a nightmare, y'all. Made it to the game room level. There's some pool tables, table tennis. There's a dartboard behind that wall there where the bathrooms are. Then you got this outdoor area. It's got 3 dirty grills, one that's covered for some reason. There is a putting range over here if you wanted to practice your putts. Check that thing out. And to our left here is the pool. It's not very big. It's like almost like an L shape. To get to the laundry room, the pool, the game area, it's all on the 7th floor. If you go around there, there's an elevator for the parking garages because those are 2 separate elevator systems. Let's go outside and check out the recreation deck. Only till 10 p.m., y'all. Over there is the gym. There's the recreation deck. And there's the L-shaped pool I was telling you about. There's not much to it. You get some nice views out here. There's the Wi-Fi in case you're wondering what it was. Wonder if though it's faster down here. It's really slow in my apartment. We'll talk about that towards the end, what my internet speeds look like. But here's the pool. Very chlorine sort for being inside. Outside the gym is closed. You see the whole deck area is boxed off. Here is the gym. There is no treadmill or anything. There's some free weights, benches. This is your view outside. This is your machines. Rotary torso. I've never seen this one before. Overhead press. I don't have any idea what this one is either. Roll biceps, leg press, 2 bikes, and 1 elliptical. That's what you got. This is a very pitiful gym for such a big old space. One thing you can say about this building is lack of friendly staff, lack of friendly signs. It's like they hate you being here just for existing inside this building. One thing I've noticed about staying here is everything is a complaint. Everything. Reduced speed in the parking lot, gym's closed. It's been closed the entire time. They just keep moving the dates, by the way. It's crazy. It's crazy bad is what I mean by crazy, just so you know. Here is the lobby. So if you're in 32 through 38, you go through these doors. I'm guessing those are the nicer ones, but... And then if you're the rest of them, you go to the right here. There's the entrance to the main road. They do a lot of like classes and stuff over there. You can hear them playing music right now. There's the 24-hour security desk. And then to get to these elevators, you have to be like rang through with a card or a little disc. This is the 7 through 31st floor. I got 3 elevators that are extremely slow. Here's a model in the lobby of the building. look, there's a little person up there. Isn't that nice? Oh, they must have sweets at the top. I don't see any roaches. You'd think they would add some roaches to this display. That's, I feel like, what they're missing here. Lots and lots of roaches. Oh, there's no tennis court here anymore, or whatever this is. That's all gone. Huh. Oh, and an outdoor play area. That's also not here anymore. So this is what it looked like in the 80s when they built it. This is one of the nicer elevators. It's got this. The rest of them have like moving blankets all over the walls and stuff. It's really fancy. And let's show you this. So here's the hallway. There's the trash.
Which several times we've seen roaches just... Oh, there's some right now.
Yeah, some roaches right there. There's the trash, so people just leave their stuff there. There's the trash chute. It really smells, y'all. And one of the things I want to show you is that there's a breeze through, so there's windows open. There's no air here. Windows. It's rather cool here, but because the air goes right past the trash chute, it just flows this trash smell to the entire floor.
The light's out.
And the light's out.
That's safe.
It just shows the quality of this place. If you want to know what the parking garage looks like, this is it. They have two, right? So they have one that's a different entrance, but then they also have this one, which is about, I think, 4 levels of parking. It's really cramped, as you can see. And then they have some weird ones too, where this one is actually a twofer. I don't know how you get out of there unless you own this one too. But that's what you're looking at parking wise here. It's not bad. It's fairly private. You gotta buzz in for each one. This is definitely a benefit of staying here, is you do have parking in Waikiki.
So overall, I would not recommend staying in a condo in the Royal Kuhio building. It has, I think, somewhere around 40 different floors. So it is a high-rise condo. So there are multiple condos and multiple floors in there, and they're owned by various people, including Westgate and some local realty companies.
The Westgate ones from the pictures seem better, but as I said in the video, I contacted them and their email responses were varied and honestly seemed somewhat scammy because they did not agree with each other. They said different things in different ones. So I wouldn't even touch this place. Honestly, between the bugs, between the sewage smells, between all the amenities always being down, they were never opened. We were there for almost 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. And nothing was ever open, y'all. The laundry is taken over by professionals during the day. So if you even want to do your laundry, you've got to deal with 3 or 4 different, clearly, companies that are working in there and doing massive loads of laundry. And then the one dryer didn't even work at all. So just frustrating. I hated it, honestly, overall. And it definitely sullied our first few weeks here in Hawaii. Hopefully it'll get better, and we do have a surprise at the end, so definitely subscribe to the channel if you want to see. Our last stay is going to be at one of the best resorts, I think, that's probably on the islands.
Yeah, we're really excited for what's gonna come, so we're trying not to spoil those surprises for you guys, but it's gonna be a bucket list for sure.
So if you like this video, please take a moment to give it a thumbs up.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button,
And ring that notification bell so you get notified we do at least 3 videos a week.
and we'll come and get y'all for the next one.
Ain't that the truth? Baby Ruth.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. We just want to take a moment to thank you all for watching the video. To those 90% of you guys out there watching who haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. It really helps our channel grow and reach a wider audience. And for all those other YouTube personalities that you're watching out there, I'm sure they would appreciate it as well. To those that have subscribed, thank you for tagging along with us on our journeys. We appreciate your love, support, your likes, and all those wonderful comments that we're getting too on our videos. So we look forward to taking you on our next adventure. We'll see you on the next one.